Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to your favorite show with your favorite bro. We are back. And it does look like we are in Cleveland, Ohio, the site of our game at hand today, with the clouds and the, wind to follow. However, we are still back in the Bay, but we are back to talk about the game at hand on NFL on Prime. Week 12 of action. Wow, already here between divisional rivals, old-time opponents, however you want to phrase it, between two very hard-hitting teams of the AFC North in the Pittsburgh Steelers, traveling to Cleveland, Ohio, taking on those Browns. And in this one, we had to roll with the Steelers. Why? Let's deep dive into it. Firstly, Steelers, we are not going to go 0-2 against you this week. We already picked against y'all. Y'all beat the Ravens already. Let's move on past that. Steelers Nation, I'm back on the bandwagon in this week's matchup because in this one, I think offense will need to step back up. Like, yes, you guys beat the Ravens, but Chris Boswell, with all due respect to you and your career, I don't believe that you are going to go 6 for 6 in that stadium up in Cleveland, right next to Lake Erie. That wind's going to be blowing, primetime game. I think, those Browns fans are going to be up and rabid. I think in this one, offense will have to step back up, put some points up. You can't have a game where you don't score a touchdown and win over and over and over again. However, at the same time, if it were to be the case, it would have to be the Steelers. Not that Bill Belichick and the Patriots don't exist, because Mike Tomlin standard is the standard. All right, next one, the defense as well. Absolutely phenomenal. I wanted Joey Porter Jr. so bad. Second round, Steelers were right there, got him at 34, I do believe. And he's been an excellent kid. They went out and got a speedster in corner in Dante Jackson, who can actually really, even if it's half step, kind of stick with a speedster like a Jamar Chase, who's going to be in the division. The speed that the Ravens have at wide receiver with Bateman and other guys that they could kind of still stick with them. The physicality Porter brings. You have Minka Fitzpatrick back there. The front seven doesn't even need to be spoken of, led by Cam Hayward and T.J. Watt, who actually might, switch over to the other side. Usually he does like to rush against your right tackle, but in this one, if Jack Conklin is to move to the left with Jedrick Willis being out, with DeWatt Jones being out, it is going to be interesting to see if Conklin is the one to get moved or if T.J. Watt just goes over to the other side, blows up some plays. If not, Highsmith's still there to clean it up. If not, there's going to be somebody else for the Steelers, like there always is. For the Browns, on the other hand, two-time coach of the year like Kevin Stefanski, I feel like he's been undervalued, actually disrespected in some regards in Cleveland. He has not had the ownership come out and back him up at any time. However, that same ownership kind of handed him the Deshaun Watson contract and the whole situation to go along with it, while still figuring out the other 52 guys on the roster. But they will never get any shine when the quarterback has gotten the highest guaranteed money ever and plays like absolute abomination. Let's just keep it 100. Absolutely putrid, but he's getting the most money, still getting treated like a king, while everybody else is working, through everything. Denzel Ward, he's back. That's going to be interesting to see with all his concussions and injuries piling up. I hope, great health for him. He's an excellent corner. Went fourth right after Baker in that draft in 2019 or 2018. And he's been phenomenal since coming into the league. However, the injuries are a concern. Nick Chubb, talk about injuries. He has not come back to his full health, obviously. He might come back next season. We'll see how that happens. But, a running back in his 30s, coming off of, back then to what used to be like a season ender, career ender, it's going to be a tough task for him to come back. So he would need some help in the backfield as well. You guys got rid of Kareem Hunt as well. Ford hasn't been able to, chug along as he did have some flashes back in the day. And then, with the depleted O-line, a run game that's almost non-existent, trading away your number one wide receiver to the Buffalo Bills, knowing how the season was going to unfold, most of the team does look like they have packed it in. It will be interesting to see how the whole organization keeps on moving forward with the Browns. Does Andrew Berry still stay? Does Kevin Stefanski still stay? Deshaun Watson, what's going to happen with his contract and the other stuff going forward? It will be interesting to see in that one. This one, I think Mike Tomlin handles it short week, and then you move on to almost a short-term bye week. Damn near with 10 days off. It will be interesting to see. However, I don't know. This will be a very, very interesting matchup because it is a divisional matchup. Also, Browns having 2 wins, one of them being the Ravens in the division that I am pretty sure nobody predicted except for Cash. So yeah, in this one, can Jameis Winston win it? Obviously, because he did that against the Ravens in Baltimore, I do believe. If not, it is at home. What do they have to lose? All they're doing is playing spoiler. So Cleveland does have enough talent on their roster, but I think the dysfunctionality that stems from head down for them compared to like the stability that Steelers have had 3 head coaches throughout their freaking existence, you gotta, roll with the stability in this one. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Quick Takes. Your boy will be back on Sunday with the full slate for this one. As you see, the shaking and the wind picking up. I hope the game picks up. It is an excellent game, a hard-hitting game, a high-scoring game. But at the end, for the prediction to be right and we kick off this week with a positive, we need the Steelers to come out on top, hopefully score, a touchdown, even if it's offense or defense, which more likely is to come. Catch y'all very, very soon. Love. Peace.